I do pay attention to the numbers because we had a house, this was before I looked into numerology, like 25 years ago, and it added up to 3. And afterwards, I had a friend say, 3 houses are expensive. They're social, and you keep pouring money into them. So it goes in and it comes out, but it usually goes to other people. And it's true. I had parties, like expensive Halloween parties, dance floors, right? So you have to watch that because that'd be Gemini, you know, the third number of the zodiac, which is social. It's a social sign.
Oh, God.
So you end up giving your money basically to your friends, but you have great parties.
Okay, guys, we got Allison out here in Vegas.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's good. I just flew in an hour ago.
Short flight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people that are spiritual don't really like the energy in Vegas, though. How do you feel about it?
I don't mind the energy in Vegas. I don't like being trapped in a metal tube on a plane with a bunch of people that are in close proximity because you pick up on their vibes.
Oh, really? Just sitting next to them, you pick it up?
Sure.
Wow.
But it makes it easy when you get the middle seat like I did to pick a row because I know who to sit next to.
Oh, wow. So you could just look at them and pick it up?
I profile criminals, so it's just head tapping.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever boarded a plane and you're like, yeah, I'm definitely not sitting next to that guy?
You know, absolutely. But a quick funny story, and this is when Medium was first out, and so people knew who I was, and I boarded one plane and my agent called, and it was in New York, and said, we need you to be on this other show. I need you to get off the plane. And I went and I overhead and I took my bag out and I got off the plane and people started standing up because if I got off the plane, they thought it was going to crash.
Whoa.
So they wanted to get off too.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow. So that was like the height of your career where you were just getting recognized everywhere. And
Yeah. I mean, because I did Oprah and I was on a lot of morning shows when the Today Show meant something.
yeah,
And
back 20 years ago, right?
yeah, all of those shows. So they used to call my name at the airport just to see me come up to the desk to see if it was me. So yeah, it was something.
Did you enjoy that spotlight at the time?
Not really. I'm an Aquarius. I don't really,
am I.
not comfortable being in the spotlight usually.
Yeah. For what I do, it's kind of necessary.
Yeah.
That's my dilemma
Same
with it.
here.
But I'm not like, I don't like the fanboy stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I get it. And people being a little molesty when they take pictures with you and stuff.
My fiance hates when like
Yes.
women are like hugging
They get a
me.
little too handsy. And yeah, so my husband, when I'd go up to take pictures with fans, he'd say, please don't molest her while you're up there. So we try and keep their hands
No
to their
touching rule.
side. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what people are thinking when they're
They feel like they know you.
parasocial relationship.
Yeah.
They've seen you on TV for your show lasted a while, right?
Yeah.
For how many seasons?
7.
7, yeah, that's a long time. So they were watching you for 7 years straight.
Yeah.
They meet you in person. They're like, oh, I know who that is.
Yes, exactly.
That's nuts. What's the main focus these days for you?
Well, I started a vodka company.
Oh, that's a big difference.
Yeah. So I took, it's kind of an herbal earth magic property that I learned from some of my earth magic, practitioners. Some people call them witches. Some people call them intention setters, like whatever you want to call it. But I studied the recipe books of what they would put in love potions and money potions. And I came up with a formula that I really like the taste of. And I intuitively picked the properties that I wanted in that vodka. And it actually tastes amazingly great.
Wow.
So Divination 22 is my vodka company. And I'll come up with other formulas, like a resurrection vodka that thins the veil. So you can have a martini and set your intentions. And it
cool.
has a QR code that takes you to my website. And there's a video where I show you how to set a proper intention.
I definitely want to try that out.
Yeah. I wanted to bring you some on the plane, but they don't let you carry on.
Oh, I'll have to order it online. Do you deliver or is it only in stores?
Bigthirst.com or
Okay.
divination22.com.
Cool, yeah. I've been interested in love potions. I always wondered if those worked.
Well, and it'd be good to seal your nuptials or to do at your bachelor party,
Might have to bring some
with
to
your
the wedding.
friends. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Got to be careful who I give it to, though, right?
That's true. My daughter actually set her intentions to it, and the universe sent her exactly what she asked for.
Really?
And then she said, he doesn't have the sense of humor I was looking for. I said, you didn't say he's got to be funny.
You got to include all of it. It's like the genie in a bottle.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You
Be
make a wish.
specific.
Yeah, and
A
then
little monkey paw.
yeah,
Right? Be
that's
specific.
funny. Money potion too.
Yes.
I'd take that one as well.
I think that'd do well in Vegas.
I bet.
So we're the highlighted alcohol at the Emmys and the gift tents this year.
I've heard, you might know if this is true, but casinos will block like spiritual abilities.
You mean they put up some sort of like a magnet or a blocking agent?
I don't know how they do it, but I just heard like from multiple psychics that when they enter like a casino, their powers aren't as strong.
I know they watch us. Well, here's the thing. I can still tell what slot machine will pay off
Really?
in Vegas because my dad loved Vegas and he's passed. He just tells me
Wow.
like which slot machine to go to. I'm pretty good at 21 also. I toddled away from my husband while we were playing and we were winning a lot. And he was like, come back. And of course he lost everything. But, it was still fun.
That's crazy.
I like the slot machines.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's certain players that make money off slots.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. I know it's like statistically the worst game on paper, but some people can look at a machine and know when it's going to pay out.
It's true. And
I've seen it.
I tell people that if you've lost somebody that you love that was kind of a fun guy or, love Vegas, they'll show you where to go. You'll get a feeling of what machine will pay off.
Wow.
So you can make money at it. And I think a lot of day traders that are particularly intuitive are good at making money because they have that sixth sense.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very fascinating because you think they'd make money based off numbers and just studying everything.
Well, some people are just naturally good at it.
Yeah.
So they don't have to study it. They'll get a feeling that
Is that a
something's going to
spiritual
pay
thing
off.
when someone's naturally gifted?
It is, but it seems to be genetic. It seems to run in a lot of families. And I've met a lot of near-death experiences where that's triggered it. But by and large, it seems to run in our genes. And I hope one day they'll be able to sort of figure that out. But most people will say, my grandma used to talk about seeing my grandfather after he passed. And it's just accepted in most families that, a relative of yours, she talks to the dead or she dreams things and premonitions or she did tarot.
Yeah.
And it's just widely accepted. It means it runs in the family.
Yeah. I always thought it was somewhat normal, but I feel like it became shunned on in America for some reason, right?
I think in history, religion had a dim view of it. And so they tried to, and it's also was done by mostly females, 100 centuries ago. And so I think what happened is religion didn't want people being consulting psychics and mediums. They wanted them to rely on the church and to come to them. So I think that's where the fracture really started because back in centuries ago, astrologers were advisors to kings. We've been around for all time, reading the planets, reading the stars, being able to make a premonition of when crops were going to come in or when it was going to rain based on the sky. So this has always existed. And for people who don't believe in it, I'm totally fine with that because I'm not trying to cram what I do down anyone's throat. And I just ask them to do the same, give me the same respect in not trying to cram their beliefs down mine.
Fair. Being in a 9-year of endings, a lot of celebrity deaths this year, right?
Yes. Yeah. So a lot of people are like, how do you determine it's a 9-year? Add the 2, and the 5. In 2025 up, it totals 9. And that's how we know it's a year of endings. The last time we had that was 2016. We saw David Bowie die. We saw George Michael die. Glenn Fry of the Eagles. There was just a myriad of deaths. And it freaked people out because posthumously at the Emmys and the Grammys and the Oscars, they kept running names of how many died. So that's this year. And people are freaking out. Their pets are passing. Family members are, dying. Some expected, some out of left field.
Right.
And then the celebrities are what everybody really is paying attention to. But it's why you're not seeing it happening in 3s as much. Because in a 9-year, it'll take out more or less. There's less of a pattern to the passings.
What's the happening in 3s? Like, what's the meaning behind that usually?
So the meaning of 3s goes back to earth magic and what the divination of what was going to happen. The number 3 in numerology. So there were a lot of patterns that were happening in the Middle Ages and centuries ago that it just stuck. Also, it's what people were observing, that it would happen in 3s. So That's why it sticks.
That's
And that's why most people will.
Shout out to today's sponsor, Quince. As the weather cools, I'm swapping in the pieces that actually gets the job done, that are warm, durable, and built to last. Quince delivers every time with wardrobe staples that'll carry you through the season. They have fall staples that you'll actually want to wear, like the 100% Mongolian cashmere for just $60. They also got classic fit denim and real leather and wool outerwear that looks sharp and holds up. By partnering directly with ethical factories and top artisans, Quince cuts out the middleman to deliver premium quality at half the cost of similar brands. They've really become a go-to across the board. You guys know how I love linen and how I've talked about it on previous episodes. I picked up some linen pants and they feel incredible. The quality is definitely noticeable compared to other brands. Layer up this fall with pieces that feel as good as they look. Go to quince.com/DSH for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. They're also available in Canada too.
Notice it, and some skeptical people say, well, you're just paying attention more, so you're noticing it. And maybe some of that can be true. We do notice more, but at the same time, throughout my entire life, it's been 3s unless it's a 9-year.
Wow.
And then you'll see 2 or 5 or 7. And, we had Ozzy and we had Hulk Hogan die, Malcolm Jamal Warner, but then we also had Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys that died not too many weeks before that.
Right.
And we had, was it Peggy Lee? It was a female singer from like the 1950s, 60s. Pretty Little Baby was her song that was all over Instagram and everybody was using it. Anyways, forgive me if I butchered the name, fans of hers. But there, you would say there were more 5, because they were in such close proximity to one another. It's a 9-year. So you're just going to...
9 scares me.
It's not even over.
My flight added up to 9, my flight number
Oh,
the other day.
you're like, I'm not going.
I literally might cancel this.
A 9-year can be good, though. If someone has an addiction, it can end the addiction for them. It ends relationships that no longer serve you.
Okay.
So it can end things. It'll end jobs that don't serve you. People move because they realize they're not happy. So it can end things and remove it from your life so that you can get to where you need to be.
Yeah.
So I don't see 9 years as a bad thing. It's just like cleaning house.
What do you think of the life numbers in numerology? Do you pay a lot of attention to that kind of stuff, or?
The number 8, always, obviously, I'm an 8, so it stands out for me as powerful, lucky, all of those things. I do pay attention to the numbers because we had a house this was before I looked into numerology, like 25 years ago, and it added up to 3. And afterwards, I had a friend say, 3 houses are expensive. They're social, and you keep pouring money into them. So it goes in and it comes out, but it usually goes to other people. And it's true. I had parties, like expensive Halloween parties, dance floors, mirrored balls, DJs, like if you just want to catered it.
I just added mine up and I think it's 3.
Right? So you have to watch that because that'd be Gemini, the third number of the zodiac, which is social. It's a social sign.
Oh, God.
So you end up giving your money basically to your friends, but you have great parties, or the money goes into renovating the house and it feels like it never ends.
I've literally been living that this past month.
Okay.
I just got the house last year and we've dumped 6 figures already into it.
Well, I'm glad to know you now. So the next time you go to buy a house, give me
I'll
a
get your
call.
advice, yeah.
I'll look at the numbers for you and see how that works. So we're getting ready to buy another house and I'm looking for an 8.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And do you believe, based off your numerology and astrology, there's better parts of the world to live in?
Yes. So I was born and raised in Scottsdale, Arizona, and it's an Aquarian state. So if you look at the date, the month, day, year that a state was founded, that's its energy.
Okay.
And so an Aquarian state means it doesn't like other people. So the thing it has is heat, scorpions, snakes, right? People move there, it's great, and then they're like, I can't take this anymore, and they leave. But it's where a lot of people settled that didn't want to be around other people. They wanted privacy. They built their houses out in the desert.
Right.
And so and it's very humanitarian and ahead of its time, which is why we have Sedona. But I also look at the cities, because if you look at Phoenix, it's a Piscean city. Car accidents, drug addicts, alcoholism. People are spiritual and they want to have fun, but they also want to tune out. And so, because they're very sensitive, and a lot of sensitives can't take the noise and the energy of so many people, and they shut down. So they turn to alcohol or drugs. So it'd be a bad place for a sensitive to live. Scottsdale's Cancer energy. Cancer rules mother and chefs. So that's all the restaurants are in Scottsdale, the bars, and it's why a lot of families move there. So I look at the energy of the state, but also the city. I lived in Beverly Hills for a while. That obviously was Leo.
Yeah.
Look at me. It was like film and famous people and entertainment and ego. And that's what it was.
A lot of ego.
But LA is Scorpio, which is the death and the drugs and transformation and being something you're not, which you could look at acting as that.
Yeah,
because you're pretending.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. I need to look into Scottsdale because I'm an Aquarius. My wife's you said Cancer, right? She's a Cancer.
Yeah.
So that might flow really well for us.
She'd probably love it. You'd end up raising a family there.
Okay.
And it's a great place to raise families, which is why everybody moved there.
Nice. Yeah. I'll tell her to come to the bachelor party then and we'll check it out.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's nuts. Yeah, I do believe there's a lot of meaning in numbers personally. I think it's just too many coincidences for me.
Right. So
I'm a 33 and I've read multiple sites explaining it. It just matches up so much.
it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So people should look at that when they're buying a house and what they want the energy of that house to be.
Are you still doing the profiling stuff or are you kind of retired from that?
It's funny that you'd say that. So I'm touring Australia next year.
Yeah.
And part of my tour is going to be, I picked a cold case from each of the states that I'll be in. And I'm going to give my impressions, but I'm also going to put together the investigative side and where we're at now on multiple cold cases there. I used to do it more. I did it for 20 years, and I saw my girlfriends in homicide that were DAs and cops. They all retired. And I finally looked at my husband. I said, hell, I don't even get a pension for this, And I never charged for those because that's how I gave back to the universe for blessing me. So I'd work the cases pro bono, and I just had to stop. So I took the last 5 years off.
Okay.
I just had this feeling. I'm like, I need to work these cases in Australia while I'm there anyways on tour. And I also made a new friend who gave me a format for how she did her crime show to where it can be done very well on stage. So
Nice.
I can apply that
That's cool.
to the production value. Yeah.
So when you say a cold case, we're talking like real cold, like decades old? Or?
One's from like 1966.
Whoa.
So I don't think you're going to get anyone put in jail from that because they're probably dead at this point, or in for something else, but I think probably dead. But I can give some information to the people that never got any answers. So I can tap into the killer, and I bridge to the killer through the victim. So I go through the victim's picture, like I look at their face and their first name, and that's how I bridge to the killer.
Got it.
It's just something I realized when I was interning in homicide to be a prosecutor, that I was seeing things, picking up impressions of what happened before the person was killed.
Wow.
And then started applying it while I was in homicide. And that's where the television series Medium came from.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
You ever try to solve one of those famous unsolved like murders or something like high profile?
I've worked some high profile cases. I can't do John Bonet because I saw every made for TV movie that there was before I was doing this, while I was just a stay at home mom and going to school.
Yeah.
So I'm tainted. And I was studied by scientists for 4 years at the University of Arizona. And so I learned how to keep your information separate so that you're not tainted. So I don't want to know anything about a case when I do my first wave of information. And then I go to the crime scene or the place they were last seen, and I write a second wave of information of what I get. Because when I'm there, I can see where the perpetrator entered the premises. And yeah, I've worked with cops for 20 years. I never worked for families or with families because I don't want to re-injure them with everything they've gone through. So that's just what I did. It hadn't been done really before, and I just that figured it's why I'm here.
Wow. That's so interesting. So when you say tainted, is that just like a natural subconscious bias that people have?
So I would be tainted if somebody said, like a reporter, well, I've looked into this and here's what I got.
Right.
And they try and unload it on me. It's like, I don't want to know because that affects me. Then then I can't work a case.
Yeah, the power of
if
the
that
subconscious,
happens.
right?
It's got to be a clean read. And that means I need to know nothing, because when I was in the laboratory, I knew nothing about the dead that I was connecting with for them to study me and grade my information and accuracy.
What was their conclusion? Studying for 4 years, that's pretty intense.
Well, I finally left because they weren't taking my blood or anything. I'm like, I'm offering you my blood. I'm offering you like free reign. And they just weren't doing that. They just kept doing test after test and publishing it in academic journals. But we were able to eliminate a few theories. One was that I'm just reading minds, which is amazing, by the way, if I was just doing that.
That's a mentalism, right?
It can be. But I was on the phone when I was reading the people, so I can't infer anything from a wedding ring on their hand or anything, red hair, that they're from Scotland or, So they removed that obstacle where a skeptic could make that argument. So when I would do the reading with the person on the phone, I was giving information that person couldn't validate. They had to go to an older generation to validate the information. So that eliminated not just reading minds, but what they called a super psi theory, and that I was being interactive with whatever presence was there. And I was asking them questions and they were responding. So I wasn't reading some pocket of energy in the universe, which was the super psi theory. They were saying we were just tapping into these pockets that they couldn't even prove existed.
That's a weird
But
one.
we had to eliminate it anyways. And they validated the information through another family member. So it just removed all of the theories of skeptics with the testing. And it was controlled experiments that were done on the up and up.
I wonder if science will ever prove there's some sort of world like this, because I know they did like remote viewing tests, right? The CIA.
Yeah. It's funny you'd say that, because my husband's a scientist.
Yeah.
He's an astrophysicist. And he's actually researching dark matter right now, which apparently, from what he's told me, everything around us is mostly dark matter. And we don't really know what it is. And he's trying to measure it and find measurements in space for it. So that's what he's been working on with high-powered telescopes from around the world that he collects data. You should talk to him. He's a fascinating guy.
I'd love to.
And I said, wouldn't it be interesting if the dead, how they're always around us, yet they're connected to the people that preceded them in death? They're around both at the same time. What if they're in the dark matter? What if that's where they dwell? And then there's a part of me that's the Aquarius that says, well, I don't want human beings to figure that out, because maybe we'll screw it up, because we're so good at that. Leave them alone, But it's possible. We don't have most answers about the universe or the dead. So I was just trying to help out in the laboratory on some small scale to try and figure out why I can do what I do. It runs on both sides of my family. I knew that. And I know that because I had to have MRIs and a chief neurosurgeon look at me when I was pregnant, we still have that recording. He had to look at me to try and understand why I kept fainting. I would just black out while I was in the grocery store or wherever, which was odd. So he ran my brain activity and he said, it's weird. He said, it looks like you have epileptic currents in your brain activity, but you don't have epilepsy. And he said, I have no explanation for this. And this is not a great thing to hear from a chief neurosurgeon, Yeah. He said, if it keeps happening after your pregnancy, come back. And I'm like, awesome.
Wow.
I was like 22. I'm like, this is not good.
Did it stop after?
It did.
Interesting.
And I had it with all three of them.
Whoa.
I think it's because their energy, my system, psychically, mediumship wise, my sensitivities recognized something there that was foreign. and it was just shutting me down.
Wow.
Maybe it's because whatever it is that allows me to do what I do was going to them, in whatever
you were losing
form.
some of your ability, maybe.
While I was pregnant with them, I was a little distracted with fainting all the time. I wasn't doing readings yet. I hadn't reached that part of my life. I just knew I saw things and knew things before they happened. And my husband just thought I was a woman. He always chalked it up to she's just this woman's intuition, right? So he chalked it up to that. But no, it never happened again. Just the 3 pregnancies.
Oh, wow.
That was it. So we definitely don't have all the answers, but I really wanted them to monitor me and give me some answers biologically. Is there something different about us? Why are my hands always cold? When I bring through the dead, why does that happen? So just, we're different.
I have seen theories of like when a spirit's in the room, it's colder, right?
See, for me, it doesn't get colder in the room. I wish it would. It's Arizona, a little air conditioning. Hey, like, do me a favor. But no, it's just my hands.
Interesting. Yeah, I wonder if in our lifetime that they'll be able to prove something.
I'm hoping. I hope my husband can figure something out with dark matter. And as far as the biology of it, I think people have had it for all time. And I think there will always be mediums born.
Yeah.
There will always be clairvoyants born. But for whatever reason, more people seem to be open to their abilities right now, whether it's social media or shows like mine when they were growing up that made it acceptable or even cool to do what I do. People are more open-minded.
Yeah, I think it's been around. There were shamans thousands of years ago.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually a ridiculous argument that we're not real. to me, that just seems so strange that anybody would claim to be so wise that they know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So just because they can't doesn't mean we can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's cool you're married to a scientist, because you get like the best of both sides, right?
Yeah, we do. And my husband didn't know what to think about it at first.
Yeah.
And he observed me in the laboratory and he talked to the scientists and he went through the science of it. And I'd tell him things about his family that passed that he had to validate through his mother, who I barely knew because we hadn't been together that long. And he was able to validate it. And he one day just said, I don't know why you can do what you do, but somehow you're doing it. And he said, as a man of science, I have to know I don't have all the answers. And I'm not going to tell you what you do is real or not. He says, I just know it's consistently happening and I'm seeing it happen. So I do believe you when you tell me you see these things.
Respect to him for taking that stance, because I know some scientists are very closed off.
Well, and the ones that are closed off will never find the answers.
They're too lost at that point.
They're too pedantic, I believe,
is
what
means, but I'll
it
agree
means.
with that.
They think they're smarter than everyone else.
Yeah.
They're academically snobs, and so it's a word from my husband. Shout out to Joe.
So can you toggle your powers though, or is it just always on?
If it was always on, that short circuits you. So I try and keep to myself, and I try to only talk to people that are in my circle, and I keep a very small circle because, as we know, Aquarians usually keep very few close friends because we don't always vibe with all people.
I struggle with that.
So we're just ahead of our time and unique that way. We're oddballs, and we like being oddballs, and we like other oddballs. And so when it comes to maintaining my energy, I can't go to concerts, and not to be a snob, but like I have to be in VIP if I go, because I can't be in there with everyone else. I need something, I need to go places that I put energy into separating myself out from others. And it's unfortunate, but it's just part of being a sensitive.
Yeah.
We get overwhelmed. But most things I can just do. Airports, I just remember to observe, don't absorb. And it's something that sensitives have to teach themselves because we've been absorbing energy around us our whole life, not necessarily knowing we're doing it. And when we observe them and remind ourselves of that, it's almost like putting up a barrier mentally where I'm saying, I'm not going into your energy. You're just an object around me. And I prevent myself from going into their story.
Yeah, I need to learn something like that because when I fly, I get so drained.
It's a lot.
So drained. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I have to film when I land and I'm like so tired already.
Yeah, you become exhausted. You need to take a shower, wash it off you, down the drain, away from me. You're supposed to say that 3 times.
Oh, yeah?
I was taught that by some earth magic practitioners.
Okay.
The number 3, again, it's seen as a holy, like wise number. And so 3 is what it always comes down to. And I think in some ways it's just protection. So down the drain, away from me, and you visualize everything connected to you that's really taking the energy from you. Hospitals are the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Because people who've died don't always know that they've died. You're absorbing cancer energy of someone who already died. You're absorbing illness all around you. So people that work in hospitals or visit hospitals, absolutely down the drain, away from me 3 times. I visualize it going down a long pipe off into the darkness until it disappears. Sometimes I visualize people who annoy me going down that long tube off into the darkness till I can't see them anymore.
I love it.
And then you feel better. You feel 20 pounds lighter when you get out of the shower. It's kind of great.
That hospital thing, though, is so true because I've
Right?
looked up the average lifespan of nurses, doctors, and healers. It's lower than the average.
And it's why so many nurses smoke.
Oh, is
It
it?
grounds them. It's something witches and earth magic practitioners do is the smoking of the tobacco. It's something of the earth. It grounds them. And so when nurses are doing that, they're the healers.
Wow.
They can call themselves nurses, but they're the healers. And so they're in there absorbing all this energy of the people around them, and they're not getting rid of it.
Yeah.
So they take a drag off a cigarette, and it grounds them temporarily.
Yeah, you got to cleanse up. I do an egg cleanse every 3 months.
God bless you.
Yeah. Have you ever done one of those?
No.
No?
No.
So you rub an egg all over your body and then crack it in the water, and the formation shows what you need to clear.
Really?
Of the egg yolk.
Oh, that's so
I had an
interesting.
evil eye on my last one.
Really?
Yeah, I had to get rid of that.
Okay, so I have a friend, Margaret Jameson. She's an amazing earth magic practitioner.
Yeah.
And I did have somebody who said that they had, cast a spell, something like that, sent some bad juju. So she gave me the reversal. And we did that for like a week and a half. And sure enough, it involved a mirror and sealing the mirror and
Wow.
this, repeating of this particular chant and prayer. And the energy just went away.
Nice.
It's kind of amazing. She's really good.
Yeah, I need to talk to her too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
evil eye was nuts. Like that week, a lot of damage was happening to my house.
Yeah.
Our garden, like these worms ate everything.
Yeah.
Like these green worms, they ate all our
You mean they're expensive? They're creating more expense in your home?
Yeah, it was very expensive. Yeah, dropped a lot of money on it. The three
Damn 3 home.
damn 3 home. The house is so beautiful. I didn't factor in the numerology when I got it.
I took a loss on my 3 house years ago.
Damn.
And it was 21 was the house number and never again.
Well, the guy before me only lasted a year, and I always wondered why it was so quick.
It's just a money drain.
Yeah. Gotta figure out where you're living at, guys.
That's
If
right.
you're in a 3 house, you might have to list the property.
It's so important. It's so important.
Do you clear hauntings too, like when you go places?
I can. I mean, I've done a proper saging and sweetgrassing of a house to clear energy of it, but I think it should be a regular service where those earth magic practitioners out there should be, you could hire them, like 1-800-WITCH, whatever, and they like go to the house and they clear it for you, or
I need to do that.
or for realtors, that they can go clear the house for you before you start showing it to remove the energy. But the mistake people make is they know to burn sage because that removes all energy. So you just remove the good energy too.
Oh, really?
Not just the bad. You have to burn sweetgrass afterwards because that restores positive energy. And that's more of an American Indian belief and custom. But like I said, I'm a native Arizonan. And that feels right to me, and all the earth magic practitioners that I know that have been doing it for 50 years always use the braid of sweetgrass.
Okay, I'll start implementing that.
Yes.
What about Palo Santo? You use that?
Palo Santo works, and you'll hear some people, especially some of the younger people, that are like, I prefer Palo Santo. I'm like, okay, well, then use that. But for me, I don't find it as effective.
Okay.
I think the white sage that we use and then the sweetgrass is the way to go. And it's how you waft it in the corners while you're clearing the house and opening the doors so that you're getting rid of the things you don't want. But you have to set an intention of, I want this house to be warm. I want this house to be safe. I want this house to be loving and inviting, and repeating that over and over again as you walk through the house. And people always think that when it goes out, when you're doing the smudging, that that's a bad thing. And it's like, no, it means it's doing its job, but it also means you found an area that's got a lot of dark or negative energy, and you spend more time in that area when the sage goes out.
Got it.
So that's important too.
Do you use salt and crystals also?
You know, I have done salt on the windowsills. I do have crystals of black obsidian, to ground me, because you should carry some.
Oh, yeah?
It's like spiritual protection and a grounding force. Also, smoky quartz is really helpful in helping you when you don't want to be around people and keeping your energy peaceful around you. So those are the things that I find the most helpful. But, everyone's different. They vibe with something more than another.
Yeah.
A lot of people are into amethysts. Amethysts are fine, but it's just not my thing. So you have to find what works for you.
I'll grab some of those, because I've been under spiritual attack ever since the show took off, to be honest.
Well, and sometimes it's even people watching your show that wish you ill, and it's like a collective thing. I know exactly what you're going through. I know what you mean. And when you are on people's radar in mass numbers, all of a sudden things start feeling harder, or it feels like more difficult to do the things that normally you enjoyed. And it just becomes more challenging.
100%. It feels like a weight's on me sometimes.
And it always will.
I feel like more tired than normal too.
It's the expectations of you, the judgment of you, that no matter which guest you have on, they're directing their anger towards you. Why did you do this? Yeah. And you're going to have to deflect that. Recognize that this is just a medium. It's media. It's a podcast, show. Yeah. And that they have no power in your life, and send it back. So do what you want, interview who you want. It's your show. If they don't like who you have on, they can create their own show. Right. And that's what I've said to some people over the years. It's like, if you don't like it, don't watch. So it's that easy. Yeah. So it's in their control. It's just there's a lot of people whose families won't listen to them that are the people that will follow. Right. And they point their anger and frustration of their life at you. You become a target.
Yeah, for sure.
So I get it. I do.
There's so much hate on social media right now. It's nuts.
Trust me, I know. Because I was on Housewives when social media first was a thing. Yeah. Oh my God. I was like, shut my Twitter down.
Damn,
I was like, I don't want to hear what they have to say. Wow. So I went into self-protection mode. And that's what you have to do. Your spiritual peace and protection and your borders and boundaries with other people, including the fans, always has to be sturdy, because there are a lot of people out there that are boundaryless, that will invade your space and your energy. And it's just something we have to do for ourselves, not just for self-preservation, but so we can enjoy life. Yeah. Something they can do, but choose not to.
For sure. You have daughters, right? 2 daughters?
Well, Sophia's right there.
Yeah, right here. Do they have abilities also?
Yeah, it's genetic. It runs in families. Whenever we're talking about one of them, that one always texts or calls.
She's going to text you?
Oh, yeah. Like their ears are burning. They're like, what are you doing? I'm going to come over. And so they've always known that. Our middle daughter, when she was little, could locate objects. Wow. So, but she's a Taurus, so she was a foodie. So if there was candy or food anywhere, she knew exactly where it was. She ran to the SUV. We had a sport an expedition when she was little. And we had just gone to buy a gift for a friend of hers' birthday party. I think they were like 5. And I got a lollipop for the top of it to tape to it, because we used to do that. Have some candy, kid. Yeah. And she just stood up on the side step of the car and she said, give me the candy. And I said, what candy? We didn't get any candy. She's like, it's in the glove compartment. It's the lollipop in the glove compartment. And then another time we bought her, Santa bought her and made her a white bike with silver lightning bolts and pink rims in the tires with a basket. So we hid it and locked it in the side room of the house. And on Christmas morning, Fallon opened the gift. And she goes, I knew Santa would bring it. I told him I wanted a white bike with silver lightning bolts and pink rims.
Wow.
Because she saw in her head what we had already gotten her. So she thought it's what she was asking Santa for.
That is crazy.
But it was actually, she was picking up on our thoughts.
I wonder, do you think it's remote viewing or do you think it's mind reading? Or?
I mean, it could be. We had no intention of getting that bike the day we went out and got it. We weren't looking for a white bike with silver lightning bolts. It just happened to be what we found that we thought was her. And so sometimes, like with criminals, I can see through their eyes. She could have head tapped, not knowing that that's what she was doing, but it worked out beautifully for me as a parent.
Yeah.
Because Santa came through, right?
I always wondered why the eyes are like the gateway. Because like you look at certain photos of people and they look soulless just through their eyes, right?
Serial killers and just, yes, some people just don't have that spark of life in them. They just seem, it's more than mentally checked out, defeated, broken. There are different lights going out in your eyes looks that people have. Sometimes it's when they were a victim and they were sexually abused as a child. You'll see their eyes have dimness in them. Yeah. Other times it's they're a psychopath and they have no empathy and they're looking right through you. They look like shark's eyes.
Yeah, certain billionaires, that resonates. Like,
I totally agree.
Yeah, I won't name drop them, but like I'll see a photo of them. I'm like, does that guy even care about anyone?
Right. The answer is probably no.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's really nuts.
Yes.
It must be like a memory storage in your eyes or something.
Well, and I think there might, we always think that everybody's born with a little sensitivity ability. I think it would go back maybe to the beginning of time where it was to help you avoid danger that was around you. And that's why we have that sixth sense to be able to detect them. Animals in the woods that want to eat you or, somebody coming up behind you. So I think it was just ingrained in people as one of our senses that we just shut down over generations. And we're told to shut your mouth and to mind your own business. And people started disconnecting.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened. But in the last 20 years, a lot of people were brought up differently. The millennial generation was brought up around shows like Medium and shows with psychics on them. And it became more mainstream. And it changed their perception. Yeah. And I think that's why you're seeing the big shift because any astrologer or medium that I know knows boomers are harder to read, not because they're harder to tap into. They just want to fight you.
They're stubborn, yeah.
Gen X is better, but still, there can be some hesitation in them. I don't have trouble reading them because I am. So I can relate to the generation and sort of find what they really need to be hearing from the loved one in order to let their guard down. Yeah. Millennials, a lot of millennial clients right now, they're very easy. They're
more open-minded.
They're very open. And Gen Z is very open. So, it's just getting easier. But I feel sorry for the boomers because it feels like a lot of them were put through the spiritual meat grinders. And I think it's why a lot of them have so much resentment of religion, which I think religion still does serve a purpose in bringing communities together. But when they were growing up, I wasn't alive. I don't know what they went through. So I try and understand that we don't always know what they've been through to shut down on that level.
That makes sense. Yeah, I feel like when I was younger, I had more abilities. Like I would never lose in rock, paper, scissors.
Right.
Like I was 50-0. It was crazy.
Okay, but when you were a kid, you were easier to access by the other side and you picked up information, you didn't question it, and it just came out of your mouth.
Right.
Because that's what kids are. They're just little squawk boxes for the other side and for, energy that they're experiencing, what doesn't feel good, what feels right to them. And it just comes out as you got older and you cared about what people thought and peer pressure and everything that you're dealing with. Teenagers tend to shut down. It doesn't mean that they're not as intuitive. It actually means that being intuitive just feels painful for them because they tell their parents are like, you're crazy.
Yeah,
or you don't know what you're talking about. Don't tell anyone. That's what my dad said to me. Yeah. He's like, don't tell anyone like that you do this.
Did he have abilities too?
Or? My dad died when I was 30. So I think he was too busy trying to survive in the physical world to tap into the spiritual. That would have been a luxury to be able to tap into it. So I think it's why a lot of people are shut down because they're just trying to survive, and they become such a part of the physical world that way.
That's so true, though. There's probably 80% of people live that way.
Right. So I try not to judge that as long as they're not. There's a difference between a cynic and a skeptic.
Right.
You can be skeptical and intelligent in your approach to life after death if you want to study it and truly learn what is and what isn't. A cynic is angry. They're fueled by anger, and they're fueled by being right. And it's a completely different ballgame.
Yeah.
So I try and look at those people and know they were damaged at some point.
Yeah. It's cool to see the younger guys waking up, though. Because when I was in school, I got made fun of and bullied, to be honest. Like,
so now if a girl asks you what your birth date is, you know exactly, right? You're like, you're going to run my chart, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Even saying like Aquarius in high school is like, you're a dweeb.
Okay, I love that. I love that.
I would talk about astral projection. They're like, this kid's crazy.
Well, and a lot of people that do astral projection are kids whose parents fight.
Oh, really?
And at a young age, they learn to go outside of the house spiritually, disassociate, and walk around. I used to do that.
Right.
When I was
I grew
little.
up in a divorced household.
Yeah, me too. So I understand. And when they'd scream or somebody drank too much and, you go outside your bedroom windows in your soul and walk around in the grass and disconnect from your body because it's too hard on your soul to hear that kind of negativity and anger. And I think a lot more people have done that than want to admit.
Some people confuse it with dreams.
Right.
Yeah, they don't even know what it is.
Yeah, and people confuse visits with dreams as well. They're like, oh, I dreamt my dead dad came through. I'm like, you mean you had a visit? He's trying to get your attention. It's pretty clear.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll have a dream of a deceased one, and I know there's a meaning behind it. It's not just random, right?
Right. Well, and you're young, so as you get older and you lose people closer to you, God forbid, but people that I've read who've lost a husband or lost a child.
Yeah.
For them, it's necessary to connect. Like they need that. You may not have that need in your soul where you have to connect with them. Like your heart needs to know they're okay, that they're still there. And when you get to that point, you remove all of the baggage in your mind and soul that says it's not possible. And you clear it away because you're on a soul level, you need it. And you're able to then connect better. People who still have the questions and the baggage, and that's more important than the connection, just haven't gotten to an energy place to connect.
They're too traumatized that they can't connect.
They can, and I won't read anyone until 6 months has passed after the passing.
Really?
Because they're too raw.
Wow.
They're not going to get anything from the reading. And I need the dead to talk about what they've seen happen to the person they love in the physical world, what they've seen happen to them over the last 6 months. Because that's what's so compelling in a reading is being like, oh my God, he was there. Like he brought up our birthdays side by side. Yes, we share a birthday. That he was there when I lit the cake for him after he died and us celebrating his birthday and my birthday, and that I'm his birthday baby, how much he loves me. And these messages become important. And when people that are mediums do a reading right after someone's lost someone, I just think that's bad form as a medium.
Yeah.
Because you're doing it just to get the reading done, and you're not going to help the person as much as maybe you'd even like to. Maybe you have good intentions, but I've been doing this for so long, 6 months. Is a good window to make sure that they've been able to come to some level of terms with this passing, and that something's happened in the living person's life for the dead to even talk about since they died.
Yeah.
So they're too traumatized.
Respect, because honestly, when my father passed, I went to a past life therapist like a week after.
Yeah.
And I think I was trying to force it. It didn't work.
Yeah.
I think I had to process the trauma first.
Exactly.
So yeah, it didn't work. I tried another girl, it didn't work. So hearing the 6 months thing, it makes more sense to me now.
Yeah. You're able to process it a little bit better. And even with your dad, if you wanted to connect now, when I do readings, one of the things they do that I have my own style, so other mediums may do it differently, but they'll give me the age they reverted to, which was their heaven on earth. So I'll write down an age for one person in particular. I think it was 34. And it turned out that he won like a huge boxing match at that age that ended up being his version of heaven. It's when he made a comeback that nobody thought he'd ever do. And so it depends on what their heaven is. It's usually more of falling in love, getting married, having children. A lot of military guys go back to the time of war when their buddies were still alive and they're with them on the other side drinking a beer in a pool hall now.
That's cool.
And they're like, so what was your life like? Tell me about it. You know, they want to hear that because they didn't get to have that.
Wow.
So I get to see all their stories, which I really love, but they give an age that they reverted to so that you can then take out a picture of them at that age. And I would say put it on your nightstand. Before you go to bed, I want you to think of every happy memory with your dad as far back as you can go, him putting you on his shoulders and, hey, kid, you know, what took you so long? You know, it's something he might say to you and hearing him. So only happy things, never the death, never the illness. And then just smile and say, Dad, I'm ready for a visit, and go to sleep. People are more accessible when they're asleep because your head gets in the way of communication with the other side.
Yeah, your conscious mind, right?
Right. So more people have that experience when they're asleep for that reason. You're not distracted by life.
That's so cool. Yep. I'll definitely try that. Wow. So there's no sense of time in their side, right? So like when we pass away, we're going to see them and they'll feel like no time happened.
Right.
That's
So
interesting.
They can't grieve us. They can hurt for us because they're empaths. They feel our pain. They know exactly what you're thinking, what you're saying, you know, when it pertains to them. So when you're thinking of your dad or looking at a picture, it automatically pulls him to you.
Oh, wow.
So it's like placing a phone call. He feels your energy and he knows you need him. Or, Dad, are you proud of me? Did he just see me succeed? Yes, he did, because you were thinking of him at that moment. So a lot of people worry about whether or not the people they love are there, and they are because they're tied to us emotionally. They're more evolved than we are. They're not stuck in the physical realm. And so for you, going through life, I know at Thanksgiving, I'm like, yeah, Dad, every Thanksgiving, you haven't missed one since you died. You know, I can actually have a better relationship with him now because he sees things so much more clearly.
That's so cool.
It is cool.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like my dad's with me, like in the car or in a certain room.
Well, and especially at your wedding, you know, there's so many things you can do to acknowledge him, you know, cutting a piece of cloth from his shirt and making a rosette and making it a boutonniere. So he goes, you know, he's there with you while you go through that
we
day.
got a seat saved for him.
Yeah. And saving the seat, that's another thing. But, you know, there's a feeling of your dad's hand holding your hand when you're little, or, you know, him picking you up, you know, that nobody else has. So when you have the material that carries his energy next to you, I'd more liken it to him whispering in your ear, you're going to be very happy.
I love it. Yeah,
you
he
know?
was a vicious tickler. Oh my God. He used to tickle the shit out of me.
I love that.
It would get to the point of
you
pain.
probably hated that because
No, I
you're an
hated it.
Aquarius. Me too. I had a brother like that.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I know,
God.
I get
Some
it.
people, I've trained myself to the point now where I'm not ticklish, but I used to be like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Start cracking up.
So that would be something you'd want to think about before bed and be like, Dad, I'm just ready for a visit. Come on down. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Well, Allison, this has been a blast. I can't wait to do stuff with you in the future. Maybe another episode.
Love to.
In the meantime, where can people keep up with you and potentially work with you and everything?
AllisonDuBois.com for any information, to book readings, email booking@AllisonDuBois.com, divination22.com for the vodka, or bigthirst.com. And you can follow me on Instagram at Medium Allison or my Facebook fan page.
Beautiful. Check her out, guys. See ya.
Thank you.
I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the show a lot with the algorithm. Thank you.